Hey, it's Spence, the evil genius.
Oh yeah. Okay, this is it is Thursday, February 5th, 2026. This is Do-Over. I just actually did a live broadcast, but I realized I had made a significant faux pas and I felt like I just wanted a do-over. So I'm giving myself a do-over because I deserve it. Here's the do-over part. I'm going to move us out of the way here. The do-over, and by the way, those of you always wonder why I have trouble with Streamer. Notice what happens when I scale or shrink this thing. All hell breaks loose. I'm going to try to prevent breaking. Here's what happened. I was demonstrating the new MinuteLaunch Social, which I'm super excited about. And I was having trouble because I was in this mode here. It turns out that the emulator, if you were in my 5 minutes ago broadcast, the emulator is breaking the website. I didn't even think about that until afterwards. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why isn't this working? So I'm going to do the whole thing over again, but I'm going to do it without using the emulator. Today, I've released MinuteLaunch Social. MinuteLaunch Social brings the capability that you guys had asked for, and I've told you I'm going to be delivering, to have up to 13 social accounts connected. And the social accounts are listed here in the documentation. They're all the ones that you would expect, of course. So your dude from the site or from your desktop can do Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Reddit, Bluesky, Threads, Google Business, Telegram, or Snapchat. What essentially happens is you have your own social media manager now working for you in the dude with your MinuteLaunch Simple site, and he can take, or she or it, can take care of doing this from the desktop, like I've got Mr. Claude over here, or he can do it from inside of the site. What I like inside of the site is using our new AI interface. We've got an experience that, again, imagine you're on your phone, will look like this. But for today's demonstration, if he's not in the phone mode, we're just going to have him like in pop-out mode or on the desk. All the controls are exactly like you would expect from your mobile AI interface, including the ability, for example, to choose from images and upload them to social. Here's an interesting, I don't even like that image. Let's load a couple more. Let's take something that's from a media library. Here's a picture of Apple rooftop emulation. Okay. We're going to use this as a reference image. And here I'm going to say, and let's cross our fingers, kid. I'm sure it's going to work. Post this image to Twitter and say, back in January of 1969, this happened. Is the Beatles rooftop performance. So I'm using the dude in this example to take a reference image that I could have either uploaded, by the way, immediately using the upload skills, right, from my desktop or my phone, or I could take what's already in the media library, which I did. And when I add it in as a reference image, I can post. Interestingly, in order to make this work and work efficiently, I'm using an API service called Get Late. And what's awesome about this is it allows you or your clients for free to have 2 different social profiles and 20 posts a month for free, which I quite frankly think is more than enough for an average contractor or business. But if you wanted to pay for it, you can pay the $20 or your client can, and you could manage, for example, up to 10 different clients if you wanted, or you could manage, the client pays the account, pays through you. But why I love this is this handles the hardest thing ever. Nobody knows this until you get into it, but Twitter, Facebook, Google, all these companies used to promise one-click OpenAuth connection and you can do what you want. Not anymore. You cannot post into Twitter programmatically without having a developer program, $5,000, and a managed app. You cannot post into Facebook without an application that's been vetted and approved after 6 to 10 weeks. I could go down the list of how hard they make it. So what's so cool about using Late is I can instantly give you this capability, and all you got to do is just go get a free account and put the API key in. You're done. If you want to pay or your client wants to pay, cool. Pay for what you use. Pay 120 posts for $20. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. That's not my problem. That's your problem. Anyway, it makes it easy to do it in the site. So coming back to the dude here posted in my Twitter account. So let's go see whether he did or he didn't. And if I refresh the page, we should see, there it is. Back in January 1969, this happened, and we get that image. Now let's do Mr. Claude. What I want to explain, because that also went a little south with Mr. Claude, is Mr. Claude posted this image here, Sweet Home Chicago. In order for images or videos to be uploaded, they need to exist. This is important. They need to exist in a public space first. So notice when I look at what Claude was up to in my last video, I asked him, could you take this image from my desktop, which I just gave him here, add files or photos. And I took this Chicago image and I said, can you take this Chicago image and upload it to my media library? Okay. Once he did, then he did the tweet, right? So let's do the same thing as a hybrid. I'm going to go into my media library and I'm going to take any old image here so I can save the trouble. Let's take Battle of the Gen X Titans. Let's just take this URL here, and just to give him something, we're going to use the same syntax. We're going to say post to Bluesky this image, and then say Battle of the Gen X Titans. And I'm going to just put this in quotes. I don't know if you have to put it in quotes, but I'm going to do it anyway. One of the neat things also about using Late is they have a full API that allows me to do all kinds of cool stuff, but also, I'm going to go back to the dashboard, they have queues. So I can schedule or have the dude schedule an unlimited amount of stuff. He can do my entire calendar and schedule it up. And again, you can do it for different users. So if you're an agency person, I actually think one of the things you could do is have multiple clients in one account, or you could just have an account for each client. So I think both of those are feasible. Let's see if the Claude Desktop, using our FluentMCP, which is the walkie-talkie we've given him here, FluentMCP. Let's see if he can do it. I'm quite sure that he can. And if we go back over here, we also note that in mobile mode, this is what it would be like if you're integrating, from your phone. It's quite nice because now I give you your full media library. You can upload to the media library additional things. You can even search the web, find images of Beatles rooftop concert 1969. Okay, so using the mobile interface as our metaphor, it gives us everything that we're expecting people are used to, but they have private ownership of it with MinuteLaunch, and for less than the cost of all the WordPress stuff. So notice what just happened here. I'm giving you a sneak peek of something else, but using this new capability, I can actually download and save any of these images or share them. I don't know if those overlays are working, but here, if I just click here, saving, if I click the middle button, the overlay works. Notice it gives me on my Windows computer, I can send this to my phone. I can do anything I want there. Here's the neat tool too that I'm going to talk about in another update. This is add to message. So I've got this new thing. It's a basket where I can type in the name of somebody who's in my, let's say, CRM. Let's do Spencer Foreman. Okay. So if I were to type in somebody who's in my CRM, I can actually send this and I can immediately text it. Hey, do a quick update paragraph about what was awesome about the 1969 Beatles rooftop concert so I can send this to my friend Spence in a text. So what I do is I just put a little instruction and I say cleanup. And what happens is my AI dude can take what I want to send to the person in my Fluent CRM contact, clean up the message, and then I can instantly text it. Now, this isn't the point of the social thing, but the point is, and again, this emulator breaks it, what it allows me to do, and I'll show this in the other video, is instantly take and create content, send it via text, either from my desk or from my actual mobile phone. Going back here, the dude posted to Bluesky. So I'm sorry, the Claude guy posted to Bluesky. Let's see if that showed up. There it is, Battle of the Gen X Titans. So that worked out perfect. Now, because that emulator is breaking stuff, let me show you the basket concept here. Let's say I go back also to the last chat. let's say I'm in here and I want to add a bunch of these pictures and send them to you right now as a text. If they're not in my media library, that's okay. I just click here to add to the basket, and I can add other pictures too. Let's add this one, and let's add this one. Now I've got a basket, and what I was showing you before is I can say, let's take the last thing I asked it to do a quick update, clean up the message if I otherwise am not being coherent, and then choose the contact. In this case, I can text it to Spence. Now, I'm on a Windows PC with Windows 11 now. If I'm on Mac, it's the same thing, but even better. So notice he made what I asked him to make as a text, and I'm going to say, send this to my friend Spence. All right. Now, when I click text, it's opening up. You can see here, this is my Windows connector. There's a free application called Phone Link. If I'm on my PC, which I do my development on, this is awesome. It's connecting my iPhone's text stuff to the desktop, and I can send this to myself, to my customer. And when I do that, I also have this record here, which is a copy of everything that was sent. So not only am I able to save the images to my media library, I'm able to put them together into a coherent message. I'm able to send them automatically. And I could even then post these to socials. I could do essentially the same thing, but all in one fell swoop. Let's see if I can show you here. I was able to do all of those things. And here is the text message that I just got. I'm able to do all this now. And what's also cool is if you have this capability resend, you could choose to, for example, send it to an email address. So if you wanted to send this to more than one person and you had their email, you can also say email, and this will take care of opening up either your local, let me grab it, your local email product, in this case, like Outlook, or you can send it via Fluent CRM. So if I send it via Fluent CRM, I can use the tool that's built in here under contacts, which also makes life very easy. So if I said Spencer, notice the new interface I've got. I could say, oh, I want to send an email or a CRM email. CRM email leverages all of the things off of Fluent CRM and turns them into a tool that's effectively useful from your phone with a thumb. Notice too, if you haven't seen this, if I go to any of the contacts, like this fake Ann Stevenson, I can view her profile, and I very effectively get what is a wonderful experience out of the CRM that's already built in. And then I just can click back and go to the interface where I left off. All right. So a couple updates for today. MinuteLaunch Social is live. The other feature that I just showed you, which is slightly under development, but it should be any time now, is the I want to call it the communication setup. I'm going through this interface to essentially make the whole thing as smooth as using like Claude or Gemini or one of the other mobile apps. And the bottom line is that when it's kind of like fully vested, I think what we're going to have is a tool that's really like a go high level killer. Imagine that if you want to have text messages in response to a customer filling out a form using the very same system, you're going to have a notification in your phone, or your client can. You're going to have the ability to instantly respond by AI's help or manually. You can set up scheduled social posts. You can set up scheduled responses, all of the kind of cool stuff that makes these other CRMs like Go High Level seem so appealing. But you're going to own it and control it. Your client's going to own and control it. All of the data, all of the stuff is always going to be yours. Like, for example, here, we just demonstrated how I now have this capacity. And by the way, it's kind of cool because I can switch views, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. I have the capacity to keep, oh shoot, let me add this. I'm showing you all this stuff without it. I have the capacity in the application itself. It's too bad that I wasn't looking at the screen when I showed all that stuff, but second cup of coffee. I have the capacity to manage all of these cool things in a box that I own and control, or the one that my client does. And the thing that's really interesting is for all of the creation of the intake forms, the sales funnels, the automations, the pipelines, the responses, we can now text from the desktop. We can now text from the mobile device, phone or Android, iPhone or Android. We can now email. We can use the CRM. All of those things that used to exist all over the place now exist in the palm of our hands, and the cost is nominal. You can have a self-hosted MinuteLaunch account with all the software for $97 a month. My goodness, $197 a month if it's hosted with my support plus the backups and other things. And if you want, we can even do the marketing for you, starting at $497. When you do it for your clients, you can have your own hosting. Go get a Rocket.net agency account. It costs you $10 a month per site. Use your site and tool to create the stuff. Use that site just to host your contractor. But even then, if you just use MinuteLaunch.com and you used our referral program, the referral program is extremely generous. Your client on the $97 a month pays you $20 a month for doing nothing. $197 a month pays you $40. $497 a month pays you $97. So you really can't lose whether you just make the content using your own account and put it on your client site, or you set your client up with us as the platform. I like the idea of your clients being on the $197 a month because you make $480 a year just on them using the platform. And then you put your services on top like this, charge them $300 a month just to do basic, email and newsletter stuff, which is a no-brainer. You're making now a referral of $97 a month. That's $1,200 a year if we do it. Or you're making a referral of $480 a year, plus you're charging them $300 a month. So that's $3,600 plus $480. You're making $4,000 plus just from using this platform that gives them exactly what they and their customers need. A way to make awesome intake, email correspondence, keeping in touch with clients. Like, I'm on a ladder, I get a new intake that says there's a lead, I can instantly respond or have my dude respond. And there's a lot more things I want to share with you, including our MinuteLaunch Remodeler, which I'm going to give you just a sneak peek of, which I think is here. Let's see if I have it up. I think I put it inside of the site here. So MinuteLaunch Remodeler. Imagine a tool for your contractors. This is obviously not designed well, but that's essentially something that says, hey, you're a roofer, you're a redecorator, you're a flooring guy, you're a window wash, whatever. Hey, you've got a house, a boat, an RV, you've got something that needs work. Upload a picture of it. And when you do, I'm going to ask you some questions about what you want done. What this then does is it creates, based upon your request, an after image of what that will look like after the work is finished and after the work looks awesome. But in the process, the person is giving all of the necessary information as a lead. So like, let's say I need my living room redone. This living room, select feature, I want to replace the flooring. I've got $5,000 to $10,000. I'd like to make the floors really dark, wide plank hardwood, next step, what's the name? Blah, 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 blah. Phone number, blah, blah, blah. This is the lead. Here's the address, dot, 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 dot. Then this click, it submits this, gives them back a notice that says, hey, thank you very much. So Spencer or the contractor will immediately call you, and it will send them within about 2 minutes a finished after photo. The after photo is going to look something like this. Imagine it comes like, here's your before, here's your after. And we do an inside shot and outside shot. So very quickly, you've got something that's very unique and very compelling for any contractor that you can offer as a service if you're using MinuteLaunch. And I think those are really kinds of the ideas. Those are the kinds of ideas that when you walk around with this in your pocket, you'll be able to sign up dozens and dozens of contractors or people who are doing service businesses. Because what's the downside to them? You're going to manage all of their leads, turn them into prospects or real customers. You're going to give them a way to instantly communicate. and the cost of it is less than most services, but definitely less than those crazy, HubSpot and other offerings. And yet they own and control everything. Okay. Very happy I was able to demonstrate this and that I discovered what was wrong with the other emulator. I love that emulator, but I didn't realize it was breaking this stream. So we'll see you guys in the next video.